CLS universe. Let's get nuts right now. We're gonna get a little weird. We got the iconic Heather Monahan coming on shortly for the record-breaking episode of the CLS Experience. If you're all with me, if you're ready to get absolutely crazy, drop a yes in the chat. There they are. Alexandra, how you doing, girl? BK, I see you, fam. CLS Experience, what a delightful treat to see you here today. Stacy, girl, twice in one day. Woo! We're gonna get nuts right now. Ann McGowan, bring it on. Coffee ready. It was a lovely treat to see BK's face. We're gonna get Heather on right now. You guys ready for her? Because Heather's coming in hot. That I can guarantee.
There she is. I see you. I see you, Heather. Yeah. Woo!
What's going on?
How you doing?
Wait, is it okay without my earpods in?
Honestly, you've never sounded better.
Oh, great. Perfect.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm just sitting here looking at my new book cover, which I made into like this giant poster in my house.
Ooh.
I'm so excited.
Can people pre-order it right now?
Yes! Oh my gosh. And Craig, P.S., when they do, I had this big meeting with HarperCollins leadership last week. I'm new to this whole, publishing world.
Yes.
And they said, Heather, we want you to offer as much value for free only during the pre-order. Not like once it goes live, stop. So here's what I'm doing. Anyone that orders a pre-order now, you get my $299 confidence video course. You get my 30-day accountability email program where I hold you accountable to hitting your goals. You get my Overcome Your Villains workbook that I just created, which is freaking amazing. Check. Then you get the first 4 chapters of the book before everybody else gets to read it.
Yeah. And that expires when?
The book drops November 9th, so November 1st.
Bottom line, grab it now.
Get it now because you get everything for free.
Yeah. And first of all, congratulations. So exciting. What a journey. And just to think, like, from your last book, like when you were doing that one, you were legit a rookie. And look now, like now it's almost like you're so experienced and you're a veteran with this book. It's a little bit different, but also so exciting. So congratulations to you.
Thank you for that. But let me tell you, Craig, like, this is what I want people to know. I didn't know anything about writing when I did my first book, Confidence Creator. I self-published that one, which is fine, right? That's great. This new book, Overcome Your Villains, this one I did with HarperCollins Leadership. So it's like each time you keep pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Each time you're like, okay, this is bigger, like higher expectations. Like you have to deliver on things. I get scared. It was so funny. I didn't know I did the Audible version of my first book. And
I know you did. I listened to it.
Oh, yeah, thank you. But then someone said to me, do you know it's not a given that you get the Audible for Overcome Your Villains? So I said to my team at Harper, I'm like, guys, is this true? They said, yeah, you're probably not going to get it. So we'll pick a very like professional voice to be Heather Monahan. I'm like, no, I want to be Heather Monahan. Okay, so this is real. This is real talk. So all of a sudden they're like, okay, today's the day. This was last week. You get to audition for the head of HarperCollins Audio. I'm like, okay, I'm going to fly there. I want to meet him because I'm very hard to say no to in person.
Yes, you are. I imagine that.
But also, P.S., everybody here is, right? Like any one of you guys, if something's important, freaking get face-to-face, right? You're hard to say no to in person. So I'm like, I need to fly to Nashville and meet him. And they said, no, you can't. You have to do it through your phone, leaving a voice note. And I'm like, no. I want my professional audio equipped. They're like, no, Heather, this is the way you do it. So I started freaking out and like telling myself a story. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I can't believe I'm not going to get it. So I did something good. I text my friend, Kendra Hall, who's awesome. I need to set you up with her, by the way, to be on.
Please do.
She's amazing. And so I sent her a note and I was like, heck, because she's the voice of her Audible with HarperCollins. I'm like, hey, what do I do? Give me strategy. Like, give me advice. Guess what she wrote back to me?
Be yourself.
Just be you, Heather. And when I got that, that's so fun. And we didn't talk about this ahead of time. You just knew that.
No.
And so it's so funny because that's the advice I would give someone else, you would give me. But when you're in the throes of negativity, you can't like peel back and see. So when I heard it from her, I'm like, F this. I took the phone, I read the chapter, Craig, I sent it in, and I heard back, and I'm Heather Monahan. I get to be Heather Monahan.
Hell yeah. That's fantastic. Congratulations on being able to be yourself. But that's such a funny, so that's something that a lot of people probably had no idea about. And it's so funny because now that you mention it, and I'll be crossing these roads in the near future myself. Like I listen to so many audiobooks. That's my thing. I like to listen on the move and so forth. And now that I think of it, like some books don't have the author's voice. And I sometimes I used to wonder why, but now like it makes sense. I wonder if those authors didn't qualify to be themselves for the Audible.
They may have auditioned and not got picked. And I found out, I interviewed Marissa Orr, who had a book out last year. She's from Google, Facebook, etc. And she didn't get it. She auditioned and didn't get it. And I was like, God, that sucks. So it's, just like you just got to keep on pushing yourself to go to the next level.
Hell yeah. Well, congratulations on that. Also, I wanted to let you know the audience is eating up the episode that we did. They love it so much. You're one of the top episodes since the CLS launch, which I'm not surprised about because obviously we created magic and everyone's already a big fan of yours anyway. And in case my audience isn't familiar with you, which unless they're living under a rock, I want to give you the intro that you deserve tonight. This is Heather Monahan. She was just on the CLS experience. She's an entrepreneur, speaker, Glass Ceiling Award winner, TEDx speaker, empowering, badass. She's all the things, an unbelievable mother, and she's my dear friend, and we're going to rock and roll ready today. How you doing, girl?
Wait, can I tell you the funniest thing? This afternoon, I get a text from our friend Jake, right? And he's like, hey, I'm leaving Orlando right now, whatever, quick trip, blah, blah, blah. He's like, need a favor. I'm like, what's up? Anything. I love him. I'm like, what do you need?
Jakey bakey.
He's like, oh, can you do a show Saturday with Dave and Craig? And I said, no. And do you want to know why? And he's like, why? I said, because I'm a fat bastard right now. And I have an appointment at my gym at that time. And he's like, bullshit. Like, just do it. Like, whatever. You're not fat. Do it. And I'm like, no. And he goes, P.S. How ripped is Craig, Heather? And I started.
That's what he said?
Yes.
That's awesome.
He was so funny. I'm like, I'll do it. Give me a couple weeks. So I just bookmarked for you guys. We're going to do a show together July 24th.
I know. You're already in the calendar going, can't wait. It's so funny because I was just with them in Myrtle Beach for my first live speaking engagement last weekend. And I actually just booked a flight today to go see them in LA on Monday for the week. So that's going to be super fun too.
Wait, what are you doing? I don't even know about this.
Dave's filming his show, office hours all week. So I'm going to go out there. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to work from his studio and just kind of network a little bit and do the thing.
Well, connect with me offline. So I'll connect you to a few people out there for sure.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Let's do this. You ready to dive in? We have some great questions for you. And the CLS audience loves you, like I said, and they're super engaging. So they have some questions for you as well.
Let's do it.
Okay. One of the things you talk about in your first book is competing with only yourself. Yeah. And I think a lot of people find that challenging because they look on social media and they see other people doing things like, oh, is that what I'm supposed to be doing? But you talk about the importance of blocking it out and just competing with yourself. Talk about that for a second, Heather.
Yeah. So it's hard, right? I look back at when I was in corporate America and I worked next to a woman who she always appeared perfect. It seemed like everything she did was perfect. And I am like the most flawed human. I always say this in my speaking engagements. My feet stink. My feet sweat. Like, I am not perfect at all. My son, who's 14, will say to me, people think you wake up looking like that. You don't. And I'm like, I know I don't, right? Like, I am flawed. I am definitely not perfect. So when you're around people like that, it starts to crush on you. You start thinking like, I'm less than. I'm not enough. Like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I shouldn't even be here. And that's when you have to pump the brakes and say, you know what? These aren't my people. I don't want to be around fake people. I don't want to be around people who pretend they're perfect. And P.S., I've unfollowed so many people on social media that I was feeling like, oh, I don't live up to her body type or her this or that. Those aren't I'm done with that. I'm done with negativity. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, focus on you. The view is so much better when you do. Start appreciating yourself instead of looking at the people next to you. You don't know what plastic surgery, freaking billionaire father, or other BS they have going on behind the scenes. So just ignore it.
She's on fire tonight. Woo! Great. You got gems and nuggets. I agree with you 100%. Comparing yourself to others does absolutely nothing. The only person you should try to be better than is who you were yesterday. That's where the improvement lies. I love that you said that. Another thing that I recently got out of your book personally, because I told you even before we connected, I'm such a fan and I love everything that you're doing. And I love to take notes from the books. I went back to my journal and you wrote something like this. And it's something that I also do, but you articulated it so beautifully. It's like, give yourself one challenge a day, like specifically something new to step out of your comfort zone with the day. And then eventually you start conditioning yourself and you get used to stuff like that. So important, right?
Craig, that it's like you at the gym, right? Like at first you could only go for like X weight. And then like you kept pushing and you conditioned yourself to get to like more peak performance. So for people like me, sales was that element for me, right? I've been in sales my whole life, my whole career. So every day I would show up at work. You have daily goals, weekly, quarterly, annual goals. So I would always reverse engineer. What are my goals? What are the steps I need to take to get there? And then break it down to the day. And I was just doing this today. Listen, negativity happened in my life today. And I was like, all right, refocus. Like, okay, this sucks. I'm going to put a pin on it and put it on the side. And now I'm going to refocus. What are my goals today? And I said, oh, I know I can get that done right now. And I went and did it. And I feel more proud of myself. Like I start building momentum by taking those action steps and celebrating them. And then I start to expect it from myself. And when you start expecting success from yourself, you're running at a different level.
Ooh, that's deep. I love that. Today, I launched for the first time the CLS membership, which I'm super excited about. And one of the things I talked about in the first Zoom call was identifying your superpower. And it's interesting. Some people know right off the top of their head, like, yeah, that's my superpower. That's my gift, so to speak. Some people aren't sure necessarily how to identify the superpower. For those people that are looking for some sort of clarity to find out like what's their secret sauce, what makes them tick, how can they identify their superpower, Heather?
Oh my gosh. All right. So this is a chapter in my first book, Confidence Creator. And I was watching your stories and some of your coaching clients were talking about it. It was so good. So here's the thing. I didn't even know I had a superpower, right? I was like, oh, this is just what I do. And I guess I'm pretty good at it, whatever. But I never thought, maybe there's something bigger here behind the scenes, like the universe, God, whatever you believe in, that has given me a gift that I should actually tap into. Hello, that's an idea. So a couple of things. First of all, I suggest that people think about when you were a child, before anyone told you whatever BS in their life, you can't do that, you can't do that. Think back, what were the things when you were a kid you loved to do? For me, I loved to get on stage and act when I was little, like 9 years old. And then someone told me, you can't make money doing that. And I thought, oh, forget it. Then I got to, what can I make money doing? And they said, sell things. I'm like, okay, I'll go into sales, right? So that's how I ended up where I was. Here's the thing though. I got to whatever I was like 42 years old. And a friend of mine said,
years young.
42 years young. And a friend of mine said, you need to step out of your familiar zone right now to find your purpose, your passion, your superpower. I'm like, well, I don't know how to do that. That's like, sounds mythical. And he said, you know what? Go take a stand-up comedy class. And I said, well, that sounds freaking awful. And he goes, boom, go do it. He said, if it sounds awful, it means you have to do it. So I thought that's kind of fair. Like I do all the things I like. I should try something I don't like. So I went to this super weird stand-up comedy class. And these people were like crawling on the ground. They were freaks of nature, not my people. I was so out of my comfort zone. However, on like day 3 there, they said, Heather, take the stage, give a monologue for 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, cool, sure. And I grabbed a mic and did it. And I didn't think twice. And no one else could do it that day. And the teacher said to me, he's like, you have a gift, you know. And that day I got in the car and I almost started crying. I was like, I've been looking for what's inside of me, but I couldn't find it because I was living in a little bubble called the media industry with the same people for 20 years. And everyone saw me as like, that's just Heather. Like, that's just who she is. I never stepped out of that little bubble to try to see maybe how do other people see me? Like what's special or unique or different about me? And when I like started cracking into it, then I said, I got to keep going. And that's taken me on this path, you know, the past 3.5 years to come to where I am now.
Which is in alignment, living inside your vision. And that kind of segues into one thing. First of all, thank you for sharing that story. I'm familiar with it, but maybe some of the audience isn't. And I love that. You really push yourself out of your comfort zone. And by doing that, you're able to identify your gift and your superpower. So for the audience listening, that's so valuable. Another thing you said, Heather, that I know you and I personally can relate to so much, because there was a time not so long ago where we were both doing something that didn't necessarily light our soul on fire. You said something like this in the book: find out where your life should be and then chase after it like your life depends on it.
Because it does, right? Like, the people always say, what do you regret in life? When I look back on my life, I regret that for really a decade, I was at this one company for 14 years. And for the first few, I was growing. But for that last decade, I wasn't growing. And to see how much I've grown in 3 years, I'm so freaking proud of myself. But then I think, shit, where would I be had I left 10 years earlier? So that's my message to everyone. Like, leave now. Like, wherever you are that you're just stagnant and just like surviving, leave now and start finding what you're meant for. It's so worth it. Yeah,
100%. I love that. It's so true. And like, I don't live with any regrets also. I believe everything happened for the reason, and we're right where we're supposed to be at this moment. But if I had to choose one, it would be that I didn't follow like my passion, my purpose a little bit earlier, or maybe even find support or a mentor, or someone that maybe could have guided me. That's the only thing I would say. So for the audience listening, take that to heart. Like, not to sound too spiritual, but what the pandemic teaches, like just how unpredictable life is. Short trip. We don't get to do this twice. Find where your life should be and chase after, like Heather says, like your life depends on it.
And P.S., everyone should be so proud of themselves for living through this pandemic. I'm like saying to everyone, I want everyone, put it on your LinkedIn, survived global pandemic. Yes, I am a badass. Like, we should all feel so proud. And I just want everyone here, feel proud of you, because I'm super proud of you.
That's awesome. And it's so like perfect coming from you, who's so empowering. So true. What a year it's been, 100%. Of course, I have to ask you something in regards to confidence. When you talk about like creating confidence, one of the things you mentioned, which I thought was so interesting, is like, find out like where your baseline is, and then kind of acknowledge like where to go from there. And I had never heard that like articulated like that before. So I kind of want to dive in with that personally and ask you, like, what exactly did you mean by that?
Okay, this back to my weight, but sadly for women, they're going to relate to this, right? So we all get, if you're gaining weight, whatever, and you don't feel good for you, the first thing you do is like get on the scale and say, I'm making it up. I'm 150 pounds. Okay. I don't feel good here. I know this isn't for me. So this is my baseline. This is where I'm starting. It's specific. It's measurable. Like, we can take action against it. Like, it's very specific. So I thought to myself, with confidence, why can't it be the same way? P.S. It can, because I'm doing it and I want you to do it too. You can say, you know what, right now, I don't feel so good about myself. I'm doubting myself on the daily. I want to speak up, but I hold myself back. I see someone and I'm hesitant to speak. I'm going to rate my confidence at a 3 out of 10 right now. That's fine. But people are overweight and they lose weight. You can be not full of confidence and you can gain confidence. Same freaking thing. It's the same discipline as losing weight or having a specific goal in mind that you need to work towards. Get clear on where you're starting if you want to get clear on where you're going to go.
So that specific analogy, let's dive deeper a second. If someone's a little more overweight than they'd like to be, do they have to wait to lose that weight to get the confidence, or can they kind of orchestrate it and then go from there?
No, because here's the thing that I've learned from a number of different neurologists that I've had on my podcast. You're training your brain. So when you start, and thank God for me, I'm lucky I was in sales. I was always training my brain about set a goal, accomplished. Heather will accomplish the next one. Like, you build that success by your actions that you take. Of course, I missed some of them, but my brain was already regulated and trained to know Heather will have a new goal and we'll go after it. And we're likely going to accomplish it. We might not sometimes, but we're likely going to, right? So the more you're taking the action, creating the vision, and setting the goal, the better you're going to feel, the more confidence you're going to build. It's just like weight loss. I might not, a week after setting a goal to lose 10 pounds, I might not have lost 10 pounds, of course, but I might feel better and feel proud of me because I went to the gym every day and I ate.
Yes. And that's a psychological advantage in itself to get that edge.
Totally.
Hell yeah. I want to acknowledge you and give you a shout out. One of the coolest things, in my opinion, about you is how you think outside the box and how you're not afraid to be a beginner. I know a few years back when you were kind of transitioning into this space and you were pounding the pavement, you were asking companies if you could speak in front of them and so forth. And then also, like, you even taught me something really cool in the podcast when you said, like, when you first started your podcast and you wanted to get Gary Vee on, so what did you do? You put a Google alert on him so you could find a commonality and then hit him up and it'd be relevant as to what he's up to. Obviously it worked, and I even had my team do that with something and it already paid dividends. So I just want to acknowledge you. I think that's so cool. And I love how, like, you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. Like, you acknowledge, like, in the beginning stages, sometimes it's not always pretty, right? Show up messy if you have to, but just show up.
Oh my God, done will always be better than perfect in my book. Like, I have my first book, Confidence Creator, has 3 mistakes. People love to bring them up to me, and I'm like, I know, I'm so freaking proud of it. I have a book. I don't ever have to die saying, I died with a book in me because it couldn't come out perfect. I'll die saying, like, I made tons of mistakes, but I did great things, right? I'm so freaking proud of that. I'm so proud. And to show you out of the box, I'm going to show you my best out of the box. Hang on one second.
Yeah! Let's get nuts.
I don't even know if I told you about this, but this is this is like my ace move. Okay.
There she is.
It's a full-size, life-size cutout, okay? And so that's probably my best strategic. I have a lot of strategic out-of-the-box ideas. That one's paid more dividends for me in business. I literally, Craig, can get a meeting with any freaking person in the country because what I'll do, I do my research. I'm not an asshole. Like, I do my homework. I find out what's important to people. I add value. Like, I connect through the assistance teams. Like, I am so focused when I need to get to someone. However, in the end, when I'm going for the actual person, because you want to go to the ultimate decision maker to get a yes or a no, when I'm going to them, I'm sending them a life-size cutout of me. I didn't have to do this with Gary, but like, I've done it. I did it to get on the Steve Harvey show. And I sent it to the executive director. He was the one that called the shots, like, who's coming on. And I just said, I know you're going to have fun hanging out with me in your office, but I'm way more fun when I'm there in real life. Let me know when I'm coming to meet you. And I got a call back immediately. Like,
that's confidence.
But I don't even care if it's confidence. If he didn't respond, I was right back to where I started.
Of course.
I didn't lose anything.
You can't lose what you don't have.
Exactly. So you have to show up differently. There is a sea of mediocrity in the world. That's reality. The majority of people are just being mediocre because they don't want haters. They don't want negative, whatever. For me, I'm like, I got to break through. I need to be noisy in a powerful, different way. And this freaking thing always helps me out.
That's amazing. And my team, Alexandra, Jessica, you better be paying very close attention because Heather's relentless. She thinks outside the box. And there's no like dead end. Like, you can always get through to someone if you think outside the box or have all these creative ideas or send them a life-size cutout. Maybe I should prepare one for myself. Do you think they'll make my muscles as defined?
I mean, there's so many.
Well, ask Jake.
But you can do those things being unique about you, right?
Yes.
Like, you can be like, listen, I can't wait to meet you. I want to share with you my hidden tips about working out and how, like, you could, like, own what's special and unique about you and different. I was trying to get a meeting with a government official a few years ago because I had this app. Of course, it was an app idea that I knew if I could get approval, I was going to become a millionaire. I couldn't get the guy to respond to me. He wouldn't respond. So I sat one day for like an hour researching everything about him online. And I was like, he's Irish. So I Googled, what is his crest? And I'm Irish. So I found his Irish crest. I Googled mine. I didn't even know what mine is, right? And then I paired them in like a pick stitch. And I wrote to the guy. I was like, listen, this is like the 800th email I sent him. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. Our Irish crests are so similar. I'm super proud of my heritage, as I'm sure you are. We are destined to meet. And he took a meeting with me.
That's awesome. When was this?
That was right before I got fired. So like 4 years ago.
Understood. But you got the meeting.
I got the meeting. I didn't get the deal. But to me, that's the win. Like, I just need
100%.
people to hear my idea. And then if it's not for you, I'm like, thumbs up, I get it.
100%. But you could live with that because you did it. You left it all out there on the field. You did all you could. That's what I love about you. We'll end it with this one. Of course, I have to ask, based upon the episode title name, Fear is a Green Light, that you said, and I quote, that means go and go faster. So many people succumb to fear. They see it and then they do a U-turn. Tell them why that's exactly the opposite of what they should really do.
Okay, so we all grew up as little kids, right? And we heard all of our mothers and family told us, if you get scared and you're out there, run, go home, like hide under the bed, just wait till I get there to protect you. So we're brought up in life. I brought my own kid up this way. Like, if you get scared, just go hide, don't do anything crazy. But then we carry that knowledge through our life. So here I was 42 years old and someone was treating me like shit at work. And I was like, I feel really scared. I should go home and just, get safe and think about it. And I did that for a little while. And then I started realizing, hang on, I'm teaching this person how to treat me. She's treating me like shit because I'm letting her get away with it. Pump the brakes. I'm done. I'm going to reinvest in me. I'm done with this idea that if I'm afraid, I need to run. No more. Like, that was safe for a child. I'm not a child. I'm a freaking adult, and I'm qualified for this. So the next time, I'll never forget, I walked into a meeting with her. She was my peer at the time. She ended up becoming my boss. She ended up firing me. She used to ignore me in meetings, right? Like, there's passive aggressive behavior in business, and I hated it. And I walked in, and she ignored me. And I went, hi, hey, you missed me. Good morning. I just want to say it's great to be here, and I want you to know I was here. Good morning. And the whole office went silent because I was calling her out on her shitty behavior. And I felt so proud of myself that day. But that was an example of, like, I'm not going to feel fear and run away. It's not paying dividends. I'm the one paying the price. And I started showing up as a real me. And it got me fired, which was the best gift I could have ever been given.
Of course. No coincidences there. And so many good things about what you just said. And also, like, when you get that feeling of fear, I know nowadays, like, that's actually an anchor for something epic is about to happen. Or on the other side of that is growth. And on the flip side, I say this to the audience, like, if you're in, like, weird rooms or you're doing things and you don't feel that at all, I would be fearful of that because maybe you're not stretching yourself enough, right?
100%. That's right.
Yeah. The truth of the matter is I could talk to you all day. I could talk to you for another 5 hours, but I want to respect your time. I can't wait to meet you in person. I have a feeling it's going to be much sooner than later.
Oh, thank God this COVID is wrapping up so that will actually happen. I cannot wait.
Yes. Leave the audience with one final gem.
Okay, my one final gem is that confidence is a choice. And in any moment, you're either chipping away at your confidence or you're creating it. And I want for you to create yours. So start asking yourself the question, surround yourself with the right people, and start overcoming your villains.
Ooh, love that. And where can they go pre-order your book right now?
Go to my Instagram handle right now. There's links. I have 10 links in there. And when you do it, send me a screenshot of your order and I will send you all of my bonus it's like $1,000 worth of bonus products you're going to get. And I can't wait for you to have it. And I so appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime. Audience, you hear that? Should you go check out, buy her book and see what she's up to? Absolutely. I only collaborate with people who I have a ton of respect for and I love. Heather, can't wait to see you soon in person. This was too much fun. We're going to do it again soon on the show with me, you and Dave, and even sooner than that. So much love for you. Have the best night ever.
Oh my gosh, you too. Thank you, Craig. Appreciate you.
Bye-bye. She's great. That's the best. Love her so much. For the audience listening, hope you guys got so much value out of that. The Confidence Queen, thinking outside the box, all the gems, all the wisdom. Go grab her book. Trust me on that. Big Dave, I see you. Have a great night. Love you guys so much. If you haven't listened to the episode yet with Heather, what are you waiting for? For those of you that hear that we're in the membership today, that was a special call. We're just getting warmed up, just the appetizer. Alexandra, Jessica, Empire Builders, I love you. Take notes from what Heather said. She's doing it right, and she's done this. Love you guys. Have an unbelievable night. You dig?